Yes? I think it's happening. It is. Wait. Yes? Hello? It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo, with yet another amazing episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. Hello. Yes. Here I am. I have been hard at work. This large structure here is my base, is a temporary base. Well, it's not so temporary, right? It's made of obsidian. It's not temporary. But yeah, here I am before the cow of compassion. Yes, this cow gives the milk of human kindness, which will cure me of the wither effect, because I am en route to destroy the wither which is plaguing the land and has been plaguing things for a long time now. So let me go in here. Like, this is seriously like, yeah, 1 2 3 4. Okay, this is kind of like scary hard. I'm a little bit worried about this. But hey, here we go. Make sure the sound is like, the music isn't too crazy. All right. Okay, here we go. Go like that. A T. Make a T of soul sand. I want to, yeah, just some coffee. Okay. Here we go. 1 2 3. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, use this thing here. Oh shit. Okay, see, I have the wither effect. Okay. Where is he? Right there. I'm hitting him. Ow. I'm withered again. So let me switch out this, get some milk ahead of time. Okay. Oh, he's halfway, dude. Wow, I kicked his butt. Ooh, crap. Oh, I'm gonna die. Run away. Okay, milk. Health potion, run. Okay, down here, milk. Okay, oh, I'm gonna die. Okay, I need here. I should have been doing this earlier. I forgot my vision potion. Oh. Okay, there. Now I can ditch this stuff. All right, I got him a good way. Ow. Retreat, heal. I forgot my golden apples, dude. You forgot your golden apples. All right. Oh, I got him. Oh, is he gonna blow up? Does he blow up? I thought he blows up. Maybe he did blow up. And my shield saved me. Yeah, he did blow up. Look at this. Well, hey, that was a lot easier than bedrock. Wow, I thought this was gonna take forever. I thought I was gonna die and everything. Hey, that was pretty good. Yeah, I killed the wither quick. I can reuse this too. This worked pretty good. I like this. Hey, not bad at all. That's a good start. My base didn't get hurt or anything. Look at that. Ah, that's so awesome. I almost died, but yeah. Hey, that's cool. Okay, so I have the Nether Star. I'm not sure what to do with it. I forgot what to do with it. What do I need? What can I use the Nether Star for? What's the crafting recipe for Nether? Okay, here. Let me look this up real quick. Minecraft beacon recipe. There we go. Is glass, obsidian. Oh, that's easy. Glass, obsidian, and the Nether Star. Dude, I'm holding obsidian. I just need to get glass. Okay. Well, that went way easier than I thought it was going to be. My cow lived, everything. That was awesome. Well, good thing I made a show. I thought this was going to take like a half hour. For real. For real, I thought that was going to take a half hour. Maybe I should have switched to hard. I think that was the problem. Yeah, the first time I fought the Wither, it was way harder. I can't believe how much harder it was. It was like nothing. Well, okay, I wouldn't say it was nothing. I almost died a few times. Glass right here. Yeah, glass right here. I can make it right here. Here, where's your beacon? Check you out. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this. Whoa. All right, and then we're gonna throw on here haste and then double haste because like that's awesome. Bing. Okay. Now, okay. Watch the power of the beacon. This is absurd. Check this out. This is amazing. Oh, it's like instant. Like you cannot go any faster. You have a netherite with efficiency 5 and haste 2. Or yeah, like there's no faster way of mining. Things just melt. Everything just melts. Stone, whatever, it just melts. So this is the way I want to mine. No, not my other way. The other way was too slow. Because look at, my inventory is already full of crap. Well, here, some of that is really crap, but yeah, I'm super happy that I actually like got a real show together. Because that would for real, that's the first time I've killed the Wither on Java, and the second time I've killed the Wither in general. The first time I ever did it was on Bedrock, and it was way harder. It destroyed half my base. Well, I didn't know what I was doing either. Like, I didn't know anything about the Wither. I didn't know anything about him. It was like a naked run. So yeah, it was traumatic. I've done a lot of research in the meantime. And it turns out when you use knowledge, wow, it's a lot easier. Yeah. Pogo Kiddo uses research. It's super effective. Alright, I'm trying to clean up here. But yeah, I mean, like, with this beacon now, like, here with the full pyramid, it's full power. But I can just use I can just make a little tiny platform and put the beacon on it, and it'll give me haste. That's all I need. I don't need all these other fancy things. I only need one level, and that's haste. I don't even need haste 2. Like, just to get a little bit of benefit would help. right? Anywhere I go, that's what these things are great for. I should go, since the withers are so easy, I should like farm them for real. Because I can make beacons everywhere. Well, no, only in the overworld. I don't think it doesn't work in the underworld because there's no sky access. And you have to be able to go to the sky. So look at, yeah, right? I was all worried about, oh, where am I going to fit it? I can't fit it because my base is so full. Pfft. I found a spot that's great. Like, not only is this like in a good spot where in a spot where I like it, where in the middle where I can like, you know, see it and stuff, but watch when I go up top. Whoa! It goes through a cyan glass. So yeah, it's right through the middle of my base. Ah! Like, ah, my eye, I'm blind! Oh. Wait, let's see. Here, hold on, okay. Take off the super shell armor, which worked really good, right? I didn't die, like. Oh, I left my rockets down there. All right. Yeah, buddy. Like, if I wanted to get fancy, which I kind of do, I can make a machine that cycles through all the colors of the rainbow, so that the beacon will keep shifting colors to all the rainbow colors. I gotta look up. I gotta do research how to do that. But yeah, but yeah. Look at that, that's awesome. Hey, what was the big meme nowadays? Jewish space lasers? That's awesome. I didn't even mean it. It's so funny. It's so funny. I didn't even mean it. I just saw it now. That's so funny. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right, yeah. No, I gotta go make a machine to cycle through all the colors. I can do that. I can go look that up because it'll be cool. That's so funny though. I just happened to have teal lying around. It wasn't like I chose it. Like I mean, I did, right? It was there. I grabbed it. Like, but it wasn't like I'm like, I'm looking for teal. I mean, it was just the first thing I grabbed because I needed to cover the hole, right? The problem is that, you know, the beacon needs continuous access to the sky, so I need to make a hole all the way down to the bottom. But of course, you know, then you have a big hole. So I had to put a piece of glass on top so you wouldn't fall through the hole. That's so funny. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh man, I can't get over it. Like, I'm not Jewish. Like, I don't know. I just think it's funny. That's so funny. I can't believe it. I didn't even think about it. It wasn't even conscious. I had no idea. Just that's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, what was I gonna show you guys? I had a bunch of stuff. I'm glad my cat's in the way. Let me see. I can't see there. Okay. Okay. what do I got here? Dude, I got so much. First of all, though, right? I've been listening to Bishop Talbot Swan a little bit. I've been watching what he's been saying. And he's saying, yo, we need to put the focus back on the black community. The black community is what got Joe Biden into office, right? It's their work, it's their organization that got us there. So yeah, I can see why there might be a little bit of concern that the needs of the black community are not being addressed. And unfortunately, I'm not able to speak for the black community. I don't really know what it is that they're looking for. Maybe I should do some research, and they've already told me, and I'm just dumb right now. But they've probably already told me. I'm just being like ignorant right now. So. But here, this thing is here. I like this one. This was great. Why do white people talk as if the civil rights movement to the side so I can see? Why do white people talk as if the civil rights movement was only 50 years ago? Wasn't only 50 years ago. You still use the suffering of your ancestors as an excuse of what's wrong with your community. Ancestors? You mean my grandma? Like history hasn't gone away. It hasn't gone anywhere. What's done is done and can never be undone. White supremacy and fascism wants the past to be malleable. Remember 1984? Remember that book you had to read as a senior in high school? By George Orwell, 1984? What was the thing that the guy said? Even up here I have the beacon buff. That's awesome. Ooh, is my whole island covered in beacon buff? Nice. The whole island is beacon buffed. Ooh, and it's color coded too. Oh, so when I make it rainbow, my icon will change to rainbow. That'll be awesome. Nice. That's awesome. That's so funny. Wow, that's awesome. All right. In 1984, the guy, the bad guy, I forget his name. There's a bad guy. The bad guy says, he who controls the past controls the present, controls the future. And what he was trying to say was, if you can change the past, then you can change the present. And if you can control the present, then you can direct where things are going to go in the future. So that if you want to control the future, you have to control the past, is what his big point. And the way they control the past is they just pretend it's not real. They can change it to whatever they want. Whatever the government says it is, it is. I mean, in the story, whatever the power says it is, it is. So they don't believe in truth, in other words. Because we all know that what's done is done and can never be undone. The past is real. The past is set. The past is immutable. You cannot change it. It has been done. No, you can talk all you want. You can delude yourself all you want, but it does not change the fact that the past has been, what was done and can never, ever, ever be undone. And it's weird to be standing on top of a pile of corpses and say, oh, there's no such thing as the past. How'd you get on top of a pile of corpses? Did you just appear there? Or did they just appear there? What happened? No, the past is real. And so Nazis, fascists, and Confederates and white supremacists want you to believe that the past is not real. They don't want you to believe in truth, right? That's the fundamental part of it. They don't want you to believe in truth. And part of not believing in truth is not believing that what's done is done. So, to that end, let's talk about game stunk. Game stunk. Oh wait, no. We're talking about black ancestors being here. I want to like stay focused on that, right? Okay, because what was the other thing I want to talk about? Particular, I don't have anything here. I mean, everything is like general. Like I have it. It's not really directly toward Black Americans. Black Americans, though, are like the quintessential Americans. The quintessential Americans. They were a people wholly forged inside the United States. Completely. They are a child. They are the child of the United States. Like, complete and whole. Just like the Native Americans. Then it's weird. I want to think of it as like, one way you could look at it is that like, no, I don't know how to look at it. No, never mind. I'm working on that one still. Okay, but to stay on to keep focused on Black America, where we can focus on as much as I can with my ignorance of what issues are really plaguing them, other than mass incarceration and things like that, which is all about defunding the police. But in particular, the project of Reconstruction after the Civil War was never completed. And I have never ever been to the South, the southern states of America, of the United States. But I've heard that the poverty there is so deep as to resemble third world nations. And it's concentrated in the Black American communities. And I believe it. That southern Confederate states would totally leave behind and segregate their black population. I totally believe it. So for healing, if you really want to heal and unify America, we will pour a ridiculous amount of money into the southern states to reconstruct those black neighborhoods and bring them up to modern standards. Well, even better than modern standards, because we already know that modern standards are inadequate for climate change. Right? So we have to pour money into the South, into these black communities, to not only raise them above modern standards, not only raise them to modern standards, but above modern standards. They will be the model for the rest of America to follow. And if we can do that with Black Americans, we can do that with Native Americans. And if we can do that with Native Americans and Black Americans, we can do that with Palestinians. Well, they can do that with Palestine has a model then. Yeah. You have to pour money into these communities to heal the past, to heal the wound. You pour money into these communities. Money is energy. You pour money into these communities and you reconstruct them to be like future cities, not just modern cities, but future cities for the rest of the country, the world to follow. If you need to start somewhere, let's start there right now. You want your green revolution? Let's start right now in the southern rural communities. Yep. Let's go to Alabama. Let's go to Missouri. Let's go to Louisiana. Let's go into those really rural and generationally impoverished areas, and like not only reconstruct them to be modern standards, but also create opportunities and supports for small businesses to service those reconstructed communities. I mean, do you see where I'm going with this? This could be gigantic. It's like the seed. It's like a beautiful vision. Totally, absolutely. We can put Black Americans in the center of it. and they will be the model for the entire world. And remember, Black Americans are the absolute children of America. They were born here completely. They were made here. They're forged here. They're wholly American. You cannot get more. I mean, other than Native American, you can't get more American than Black Americans. Like, that's like the quintessential American. And of course, the Black American story is woven with everyone else's story. But Black Americans play a central role in it. I mean, they built America. I mean, yes, with everyone else, but only they were subject to chattel slavery. And so, yeah, that's the distinction. They were the only people to be subject to chattel slavery. And chattel slavery is like the most brutal kind of slavery you can imagine. Like, they didn't, like, in the time of Jesus, they didn't have chattel slavery. Or if they did, then Jesus was preaching against it, trying to teach people to be kind to your slaves. Like, gotta put Jesus in context, right? They didn't even have the concept of liberty really back then. Like the way we had it. I mean, that's something, that kind of consciousness has to be developed over centuries. Like, the modern mind would be alien to the ancient mind, and vice versa. Because the consciousness is the product of your social environment, which is a combination of material and social relations. So, I'm all talking nerdy. So yeah, that's how. Before we go, that's how we're gonna start. You want to heal America? You want unity? Let's make rural southern Confederate states, formerly Confederate states, into the green utopias of the future. Let's do it. Let's show it. Let's show them how it's done. That's where we pour all our money.
More carrots.
Not all our money, but a bunch of our money. That's how you start. There we go, right?
More carrots.
That'll be the first step toward reparations, because it was never finished. The Southern Reconstruction was never finished. It was halted by the Confederates and co-opted. And yeah. The multiracial democracy is to thrive. You must first heal the wounds of the past. What was done is done, can never be undone, but you can heal what was done. Right? If it's what was done is done and can never be undone. But what you do to repair it can likewise never is done, right? And that can't be erased either. It goes both ways. Okay, man, I went off on that. All right, hold on. Let me. Where am I gonna start first here? Conspiracy thinking. I saw this awesome thread.
Don't tear it. More carrots.
Oh no.
Where's Garrett?
Okay. Jared Yates Sexton. We don't talk enough about the relationship between online interactive conspiracy theories and the corporate strategy of increasing interest in movies and TV shows by injecting Easter eggs and puzzle boxes to spur online chatter. So what's he want to talk about? Relationship between what? Online conspiracy theories and corporate strategy of making TV shows into a game. Like, you know how Lost, you'd like look for clues over here and over there in Lost. It was like an alternate reality game. And they found out, oh, that's really good. It engages the audience and gets them really interested to follow the show. So they're like, oh, if we make this game out of our TV show, then like we can get people to play, and it's a lot, and we get more money. And the relationship between that and online conspiracy theories, that where you look out there for clues to find the big story that no one else knows. Right? What's that relationship between the corporate version of this and the online version of this? So, internet era viral marketing, dropping hints into properties to inspire online articles and social media chatter that prioritizes obsessive fandom and rewards investigative consumption, taught consumers to view everything as a treasure hunt for hidden knowledge. So this incentive to make things like a game teaches people to look for clues everywhere for their little game. And it rewards them, right? Little dopamine boost. Anymore, the more popular properties are the ones that inspire sleuthing, piecing together clues, restless conjecture, and repeated viewings for narrative construction that benefits researchers who interpret hidden clues. Movements like QAnon bring it into political reality. So all QAnon does is take that same framework that you use to look for hints to the next supervillain in the TV show, that same like game, QAnon brings it to the political world. And so now you're looking for hints about like secret underground pedophile rings or something crazy like that. All right. The only difference between combing through WandaVision or detective shows for clues and Easter eggs and baking for QAnon is that one is interactive, active consumption of pop culture, and the other involves audiences who believe it's the key to saving the world. So some people think, hey, it's a funny little show, and these other people think, like, I'm literally, like, I have to do this because the future of the world depends upon it. Like, and so they get, like, that's a lot of stress, right? I feel a lot of stress. I felt a lot of stress trying to teach people that Donald Trump is a Russian asset when I got a lot of negative feedback. It's really, really stressful, but I kept pushing through it because I thought it was really important. These people had that same feeling of importance, that it's really important that I do this, but they're totally crazy. They're off on a imaginary game. It's not real, but they have the same like fight or flight reaction, even though it's not real. So it's stressful. When I teach fiction, we talk about narratives with puzzles for readers that draw them in and invite them to participate. This principle has been expanded to court online chatter in pursuit of virality. The same concept works for QAnon and interactive conspiracies. Yep. The end result is a fascistic cult that operates online, searching for hidden symbols that might expose clandestine messages, just like viewers search for hints at future franchise movies and solutions to puzzle boxes. The magic trick in this is the narrative strategy of turning passive consumption into active consumption while camouflaging the truth. Finding clues in movies, shows, and even political events does not mean the consumer can necessarily change anything. Like, it just, like, you're not actually changing anything. You're just sitting there watching it and like feeling special that you found something special. So I asked the question, so let's continue on this conspiracy thinking. All right. The 7 traits of conspiracy thinking. Let me move me out of the way here. Okay. The 7 traits of conspiratorial thinking. Contradictory, overriding suspicion, nefarious intent, something must be wrong, persecuted victim, immune to evidence, reinterpreting randomness. Oh man. There's like no way to easily flip. It doesn't, like, the key doesn't let you, like, once you zoom, it won't let you like, there we go. Oh, okay. Hey, if you max it out, then I can't zoom. Can I? Nope. Now it's gone. See? Now I can't, like, now I can't go to the next slide because I zoomed in. This is so bad. Contradictory. Conspiracy theorists can simultaneously believe in ideas that are mutually contradictory. For example, believing the theory that Princess Diana was murdered, but also believing that she faked her own death. This is because the theorists' commitment to disbelieving the official account is so absolute, it doesn't necessarily matter if their belief system is incoherent, right? So for QAnon, it doesn't matter if they have two ideas that are contradictory in their heads at the same time. They can believe that Donald Trump is the president of the United States and great friends with Donald Epstein, at the same time as believing that he had nothing to do with the child ring that Epstein was running. They believe those at the same time. So, and they believe that by overthrowing the election, they're serving the Constitution, right? So by destroying the Constitution, they're saving the Constitution. That's what they believe. So contradictory thinking, that's the hallmark of their thinking. Overriding suspicion. Conspiratorial thinking involves a nihilistic degree of skepticism toward the official account. This extreme degree of suspicion prevents belief in anything that doesn't fit into the conspiracy theory. So like anything you say that doesn't fit their theory is fake news. Easy, right? Nefarious intent. The motivations behind any presumed conspiracy are invariably assumed to be nefarious. Conspiracy theories never propose that the presumed conspirators have benign motivations. That's always a bad thing. It's never a good thing. I don't know what that's about, but okay. No, come on. Something must be wrong. Although conspiracy theorists may occasionally abandon specific ideas when they become untenable, those revisions don't change their overall conclusion that something must be wrong, and the official account is based on deception. So, even if something gets disproven over and over and over again, they might throw away little pieces of their conspiracy theory, but nothing will stop the main thrust that the main thing of what they believe is true, that something's wrong. That nothing can change the mind. Persecuted victim. Conspiracy theorists perceive and present themselves as the victim of organized persecution. At the same time, they see themselves as brave antagonists taking on the villainous conspirators. Conspiratorial thinking involves a self-perception of simultaneously being a victim and a hero. Right? That's real hard. Like they were trying to gaslight me for 4 years. For 4 years, they were trying to gaslight me into believing that I was a persecuted victim, that I was just imagining the Russia conspiracy, and that I only imagined myself was as a victim of them berating me. Like even though they're attacking me constantly, it wasn't real because what I was saying wasn't real. So they're trying to change break my head, my sense of reality. But in reality, they're projecting onto me them, because they were the persecuted ones. They were the sacrifice. That's why, it's because of their brave sacrifice that they stormed the Capitol to overthrow the Constitution. And they're immune to evidence. Conspiracy theorists are inherently self-sealing. Evidence that counters a theory is reinterpreted as originating from the conspiracy. This reflects the belief that the stronger the evidence against the conspiracy, example, the FBI exonerating a politician from allegations of misusing a personal email server, the more the conspirators must want people to believe their versions of events. Example, the FBI was part of the conspiracy to protect that politician. So, the FBI investigated Hillary Clinton and found nothing. So to the conspiracy theorists, the MAGA, that must mean that the FBI are in on the conspiracy too, right? There's nothing. If someone gives you evidence against your theory, you will say that person is part of the conspiracy. There's no way you can win against the conspiracy theorists, right? There's no reason that will work. Nothing will work. Reinterpreting randomness. The overriding suspicion found in conspiratorial thinking frequently results in the belief that nothing occurs by accident. Small random events, such as intact windows in the Pentagon after the 9/11 attacks, are reinterpreted as being caused by the conspiracy. Because if an airliner had hit the Pentagon, then all the windows would have been shattered, and then are woven into a broader interconnected pattern. There's no way you can win because they just reinterpret stuff, right? Once they've given up on the idea of truth, and then they can bend anything to anything. That's why truth is the #1 enemy of fascists, because they need people to have malleable minds to be able to be bendable. So, to get back to this guy, to Jared Yates Sexton, what I want to do is flip this model on its head. I want to flip this model on its head. Instead of people diving down a rabbit hole and going deeper and deeper and deeper into a conspiracy because they're following breadcrumbs deeper into the labyrinth, I want to make a game out of climbing up the rabbit hole. Give them bits of truth and have them gather the bits and start climbing up to come back out. And so to that end, I wrote a poem a long time ago. Can I find it? I should have put it up here, but I forgot I was going to do this. Because I don't know why. Maybe I'm... Nope, I don't have it. Dude, that's funny. I don't have it as a separate poem anymore on my computer, or I don't know. Here, hold on. I gotta do it. No, this way. I'm killing the flow, right? I'm killing the flow, but that's you know what can I do? Dude. Go kiddo. Should've... Man, this is like lame. Okay, now I gotta find it. Holy crap. Dude, this is awful. Oh, my cat's freaking out. My cat is flipping out. He knows what's happening. There it is. All right, here we go. Okay. There's no way I can, Ooh, can I do that? Let's see. Can I share this with you? I want to share this with you. Can I open this in... No, it won't do it. Oh yeah, it will. Okay. So this is I have a book. This is my first chat book I ever made, Philosophical Poetry. I made this a long time ago. Here, let me hide this until I find the poem. Yeah, dude, this poem. Like, I know it. I'm sorry it's taking so long, but I'm gonna get there. And it should be memorized, but right? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Okay. Oh, hey, it came back up. All right. Hey, now you can't see me. Where did I go? You have to be able to see me, right? I turned off the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. Nope. Stay like that. More coffee. Let me get my last little bit of coffee here. Then I gotta make another pot. Can't see. Okay. Climbing up the rabbit hole. Today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. She mumbled to herself as she fumbled with the sickening feeling of realizing she drank too much alcohol. And the queasy hung over morning haze hung before her eyes as she braced for impact with the here and now. While the now and again got naked and sang and danced with the devil by the 50-watt light bulb in Aeschylus. But she ignored that thought. Or rather, she accepted, embraced, and absorbed that thought and let it pass into obscurity, because ignoring the ignorant doesn't make them less ignorant, it just makes them loud, indignant, and ignorant. But the mute guy spoke. But the mute guy left right away, and left her writing and wondering what he meant when he left by the phrase, Réveille-toi. Da, 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 da. The man who knows not and knows he knows not, he is uneducated. Teach him. The man who knows not, but knows not he knows not, he is asleep. Oh, and a fool. Avoid him. The man who knows, but knows not he knows, he is asleep. Wake him. The man who knows and knows he knows, he is wise. Follow him. Thus, by millimeters, she peeled back the layers of superfluous thought and gently settled into the present. You know, where sober people rarely visit. And the conscious, steady, rhythmic motion of breathing in and breathing out became something in and completely without distinction between the air pumping in and the air flowing in and the blood pumping out of the conscious, steady, rhythmic motion of beating it up and beating it down. The heart, her heart, his heart, their heart, your heart, my heart, our heart, beating and pounding and etching the fact that we live, to learn, to live without the need or want for wishes that ultimately lead to our undoing. God, what? What we had in the past and what we'll have in the future. Now, see, she pondered this and resolved to avoid cliches like the plague, yet the past is already past, and though tomorrow may only be a day away, it might as well be in Sweden, because it's still too far away to be here and now, for tomorrow's only a day away, tomorrow's only a day away, tomorrow's always one day away, and away and away we go, when we hope and we say and we pray to be right, and we left all asides and resolve to say that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, hence it's not so bad being who we are, being where we are, where we are. Are we being whom and what we were destined to be? Because when nature calls, she fucking hollers and screams, be born, multiply, die. That's all she says. And the rest, no one says, and the rest is left to us to decide what is right and arrive at our own conclusions. We always arrive at our own conclusions. We write our own conclusions. And those who say otherwise have taken a sash and covered their eyes to keep bits of truth from getting into their minds and rooting their complacency. Sometimes no fear means no hope. But the mute guy spoke and said, where there's a will, there's a way. While society says, oh, where's my appeal for a way out of this reality and into the happy blue-tinged world of Prozac dreams and Viagra wishes? She wishes. She wishes upon a star and knows that full well wishing alone won't bring her wishes true. But the moment calls nevertheless. She gapes in awe at the beauty, the precision, the poignant irony of the here and now. She tried to bring the others, but the stripes of their shirt always got caught in the gray plaid wallpaper, and they would fall into uneasy contentment. One day, she thought, one day the bars will bend. The toys their friends had bought will break. And they will yawn and stretch and be simply, what? Awake. Just wait. All right. No, this will be faster. Come on. That's good. All right. So yeah, we have a whole bunch of people that we need to teach how to climb up out of the rabbit hole that they've dug themselves into, and we have to gamify it, right? What do you think this is? This is my attempt, right? I tried to get people into it. Oh wait, here, this is too big. Okay. Shush. Okay, so cleansing the palate a bit. Let's see what else I got here. Game Stunk. The Meme Economy by Kyle Shaka. Get me out of the way again. Damn it, I'm always in the way. The Meme Economy. Why is it way over there? Okay, the meme economy. Dude, I need a better system. Oh, it's not there anymore? I gotta put it on top. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's a way better system. Way better. GameStop 1. Okay. The French economist Thomas Piketty published a book called Capital in the 21st Century. So the big deal. It's even up on top of me, dude. Come on, don't do that. I be on top. There we go. I'm on top. So Thomas Piketty set up this theory, or did this research, and he found out that R is bigger than G. R is greater than G. So the return on capital, which is profits or dividends from companies, rents and interest, right? So rent, interests, profits or dividends. That is capital. So the rate of capital, return on capital, is bigger than the rate of return, than the overall output of a society as a whole, as a growth. So this stuff, so the machine is pumping out a block every year. One block every year. Bonk, one block. Bonk, one block. Bonk, one block. But, oh wait, you can't see. So the machine is pumping out one block a year. Blonk, blonk, blonk. But with the investment, if you have money and you make money on it, it's growing like this. Boom. It's going like 3 a year. Oop. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oop. Three. 1, 2, 3. So it's growing way faster. Capital grows. You make way more money from money than you do from anything else, from working, from owning, from like any kind of labor. There's nothing better to make money than money. which you know, if you think about it, is really, really broken. I don't want any like monsters spawning up here. Because look at it. What that means is that if you work, you will never make as much money as if you invest. Because you make 1 block, but they're making money off of 3 blocks. So for every... But the problem is that the market is supposed to be a reflection of the real world, right? That's the whole point. Like, you have, X number of dollars is supposed to equal X number of goods, because that's the value. But if the market is growing 3 times faster than the real world, that means, like, the value is being stretched out and then folded back and concentrated. And it's like a hollowing out. All the value that's in here, it gets sucked into the like, if it's 1-to-1, right? If it was just 1-to-1, like, if R was equal to G, that the rate of return on capital was the same as the growth of the economy, of actual production of stuff, then that'd be fine. But the problem is that you produce 1 unit of goods and you have 3 units of money. How can 3 units of money be reflective of 1 unit of good? It means it sucked out the value of the goods there and put it into money. So if you control money, you're sucking out the value and putting it into yourself over and over and over again. But since we, I'm a materialist here, and things are based on the material world. So eventually, this is gonna collapse. This is not sustainable, right? Something would break in this situation. So let's continue on with GameStonk. So that's a lucky bet, of course. And you need a good amount of upfront capital to buy enough stock to profit from its rise. But its pure R is greater than G. The labor of running the store, or even the fundamental value of the physical infrastructure the store runs on, means nothing in the face of the random stock trend. And that trend itself is artificial. It's not based on a perception that GameStop might be worth more money someday because it would be better run. It's essentially a participatory joke, where the joke's inventors will get rich and its late adopters will lose everything they put in. Right? They will be the bag holders. The people late into the game are called bag holders. They put all their money in, and then all their money gets sucked out by these other capitalists who got in early. That's the joke. That's the real joke of it. Like, if you get in early on the joke, you can make money. But if you're late to the joke, you lose everything. And you become the joke. So, do I have one marked up, or I guess that's the only one, right? Okay. So, capital is more profitable than labor, and the spikes of capital during the internet era, the crazy peaks of its reproduction rate, have more to do with entertainment, memes, and fandom than with revenue, productivity, or utility. If my high school teachers had known this reality, they would have sent me back home to the basement to play video games. I used to think that stability was formed by the slow gains of promotions at work, the respect of my peers, and the establishment of authority in some field or another, even if not through salaried full-time jobs. My concept of a career has been replaced, however, with the framework of a series of increasingly arcane gambles within digital platforms that contain our lives and our civilization. Any bet could outpace many years of work. We hope to land at the right startup, to buy the right coin, or to be an early adopter on the new platform just before the audience floods in, to become a meme ourselves. For that is how it works. You go viral, thus you get a gig, get sponsorships, sell subscriptions, sell a book. So, being content with a job sometimes seems like acceding to the invisibility that capital wants, because going unnoticed is more efficient. Like forgetting the backroom game exists, or believing that it all has some more fundamental basis or logic than the appearance and disappearance of pixels in the shape of a Santa hat, chased by millions of players in a virtual world. So what this guy is saying is that it's not even worth it. Like, he's cynical. He's saying my teachers, because he's saying he made more money selling virtual Santa hats in like Ragnarok than he did in like actual like jobs. Like if you make the right bet and get in on the right joke, you can make way more money than you would with just regular labor, because, and that just seems crazy, right? That just seems insane. But I'm telling you, it's a bad joke, because like everyone talks about diamond hands and crap like that, but those people are called bag holders. Like the game is rigged, and by participating in it, you're like legitimize it. So here we go. I've mentioned before that I have a few misgivings about Thomas Piketty's thesis in Capital in the 21st Century. One of my misgivings is pretty basic. Piketty argues that R, the return of capital, is historically greater than G, the economic growth rate. This is Kevin Drum. Since the rich own most of the capital, this means that the rich accumulate wealth faster than everyone else, which in turn means that rising income inequality is inevitable. But as capital accumulates, surely the return on capital should decline. After all, that's what happens in every other market when there's a glut of supply. Piketty briefly addresses this objection and concludes that although R will indeed decrease as capital accumulates, it won't decrease much. But is that true? I say yes. So he says no. This guy, Larry Summers, says no. But I'm not Larry Summers. I'm Robert Gonzalez. I'm Pogo Kiddo, and I expand my view past pure economics. And I'm going to go turn to 1984, what I was talking about earlier, right? So in chapter 3 of the Theory of Oligarchical Collectivism by Emmanuel Goldstein, that's Stalinism. The primary aim of modern warfare, here, let me zoom in on that. The primary aim of modern warfare, in accordance with the principles of doublethink, this aim is simultaneously recognized and not recognized by the directing brains of the inner party. So that's basically doublethink is what Trump supporters are using. They believe in doublethink. They believe in two contradictory ideas at the same time, that they're overthrowing democracy to save democracy. They believe that, right? So, but the aim of modern warfare is to use up the products of the machine without raising the general standard of living, right? So the whole point of war is not to win, because you can't. There's no way we can physically destroy China or the Soviet Union. We can't do it. There's no way. You can't. You can't. Short of a nuclear war, which kills everybody, you cannot do it. So the conflict between Russia and the United States, well, the West and Russia and China, is not actual conflict over real things. It's just a way to burn up all the extra stuff that our society produces, right? Our society produces stupid amounts of everything. But under capitalism, it's only useful if you can sell those products for a profit. It doesn't matter how much it's needed. If you can't sell it for a profit, it's no good to you. So yeah, our productive capacity is at the point where we can produce a ridiculous amount of stuff, like real fast. And if we distributed all that stuff equally throughout the people, then there would be no poverty and no need for war. And then the people who control the at the top, the rich people, would no longer have all the power anymore, right? If you can't threaten people with lack of with homelessness and starvation and no health care, if you can't threaten people into a job with those things, then they have a lot more power over you, right? So it's harder for you to make profit. So you don't, as a capitalist, you don't want people to get rich. So you need to get rid of all this extra stuff that you're making. You still have to make it to keep the people busy, but you have to get rid of it. You can't use it in a way that would help them. You have to get rid of it in a way that doesn't help them. So the way you do that is through warfare, constant warfare, continual warfare. That's why the #1 export of the United States is arms. Because it's a way of burning the products of the machine without actually helping people. So here's how they say it here. Ever since the end of the 19th century, the problem of what to do with the surplus of consumption goods has been latent in industrial society. At present, when few human beings even have enough to eat, this problem is obviously not urgent, and it might not have become so, even if no artificial processes of destruction had been at work. The world of today is a bare, hungry, dilapidated place compared with the world that existed before 1914. And still more so if compared with the imaginary future to which the people of that period looked forward. In the early 20th century, the vision of a future society unbelievably rich, leisured, orderly, and efficient, a glittering antiseptic world of glass and steel and snowy white concrete, was part of the consciousness of nearly every literate person. Science and technology were developing at a prodigious speed, and it seemed natural to assume that they would go on developing. This failed to happen, partly because of the impoverishment caused by a long series of wars and revolutions, partly because scientific and technical progress depended on the empirical habit of thought, which could not survive in a strictly regimented society, in a pyramid society. As a whole, the world is more primitive today than it was 50 years ago. Certain backwards areas have advanced, and various devices, always in some ways connected with warfare and police espionage, have been developed, but experiment and invention have largely stopped, and the ravages of the atomic war of the 1950s have never been fully repaired. Nevertheless, the dangers inherent in the machine are still there. From the moment when the machine first made its appearance, it was clear to all thinking people that the need for human drudgery, and therefore to a great extent for human inequality, had disappeared. If the machine were used deliberately for that end, hunger, overwork, dirt, illiteracy, and disease could be eliminated within a few generations, and in fact, without being used for any such purpose, but by a short and of automatic process, by producing wealth which it was sometimes impossible not to distribute. The machine did raise the standard of the living standards of the average human being very greatly over a period of about 50 years at the end of the 19th and the beginning of the 20th century. So yeah, it did work, and then the deal got broken. And the machine began being used instead to concentrate wealth and power for the top. But if we can get control of the machine, we can bend it to our will. So they think that it be, but it ain't. I know at least one of my followers doesn't quite understand what is happening in the stock market right now, and that's enough to motivate me to explain, because this is something of a turning point in world history. First, you need to understand what a short is trading. A short is when you borrow a stock from a broker and sell it immediately at its current price. Then you hope the stock's price falls such that you can buy the stock back at a lower price and return the shares you borrowed to your broker, but keeping the difference. Example, let's say I want to short XYZ, which has a current price of 10 bucks. I borrow one share and sell it immediately at 10 bucks. I get 10 bucks. I now have 10 bucks, but I owe you a share that I paid that was at the time worth 10 bucks. Then let's say the price of the share drops to 7 bucks. I now decided to cover my position and buy one share at $7 and return the borrowed share to my broker. I made $10 when I sold and only had to pay $7 to buy it back lower. So my profit is the $3 difference. But now let's say that instead of of the stock price dropping to $7, it goes up to $15. I still need to return the one borrowed stock, except now it's going to cost me $15 instead of $10. So I lost $5. So for GameStop, a Redditor, yeah, rah. So what they're trying to say is that this is like a people's revolution against the stock market, of how the people can strike back against the billionaires. But it's not really that. But it's not like that. That's not true. The wealthy own the game. They make the rules and they change the rules whenever they want. It's like being in the Matrix. You know how the Matrix can be glitched? There's a glitch in the Matrix, and that's when that happens, that means they changed something. That happens all the time in the real world right now, all the time. For example, the GameStonk, they were gonna murder this hedge fund, and so but the hedge fund they were gonna murder belonged to a big company, and this big company also owned Robinhood, which was the trading app that all the people were using to kill this company. So the company being killed was connected to the app that was used to kill the company. So what happened was the parent company just killed the Robinhood app. That's all. They just killed the Robinhood app. and they let their company, their other company, buy back all the shares and not lose all their money. That's what they did. They saved their own company by shutting down Robinhood and closing out all these small investors. So wait a minute, Pogokino, isn't that against the law? Yeah, it's against the law, but the fine that they will pay for breaking the law is smaller than the money they would have lost had the trades gone through. So they've already rigged the game to make sure that so that breaking a law, paying the fine is only a cost of business. It's only like a part of the fees you have to pay to make money. They made way more money, or they saved way more money by shutting out those people and paying the fine than if they would have obeyed the law and let these people destroy their hedge fund. The game is rigged. You can't win. You cannot win. It's a rigged game. You cannot win. A few people are going to come out ahead, right? And look, they're going to flash their money and be like, yeah, I won, check me out. But what you don't see are the 10,000 people behind him who all lost their money. that all got concentrated into his hands, right? Because the market does not generate wealth. It does not create wealth. It only transfers wealth. That's all it does. It never generates, it only transfers. And the game is rigged to transfer wealth to the top every time. Yeah, so okay, I did my poem already, climbing up the rabbit hole. Now I've lost I closed the wrong one, so hold on, sorry. I don't know why I even do this. Like, no one watches, no one cares. Oh, man. All right, shut up. All right, shut up. Donald is a Russian asset. The Perfect Target by David Smith. The Perfect Target. The KGB played the game as if they were immensely impressed by his personality. They basically slobbered his knob, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go with you anywhere." Like, if you kiss up to him, you can control Donald Trump. Donald Trump was cultivated as a Russian asset for over 40 years and proved so willing to parrot anti-Western propaganda that there were celebrations in Moscow, a former KGB spy told The Guardian. Yuri Shvets, posted to Washington by the Soviet Union in the 1980s, compares the former US president to the Cambridge Five, the British spy rings that passed secrets to Moscow during the Second World War and early Cold War. Now 67, Schwetz is a key source for American Compromat, a new book by journalist Craig Unger, whose previous works include The House of Trump, House of Putin. This book also explores the former presidency's relationship with the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. This is an example where people were recruited when they were just students, and then they rose to important positions. Something like that was happening with Trump. So he was extremely vulnerable intellectually and psychologically, and he was prone to flattery. So for the KGB, it was a charm offensive. Trump, in 1987, Trump and Ivanka visited Moscow and St. Petersburg, and FBI, or not the FBI, the KGB, like, got him, right? And he was really, really vulnerable. He was really weak. This is what they exploited. They played the game as if they were immensely impressed by his personality and believed this is the guy who should be the president of the United States one day. It is people like him who could change the world. They fed him these so-called active measures, sound bites, and it happened. So it was a big achievement for the KGB active measures at the time. Soon after he returned to the US, Trump began exploring a run for the Republican nomination for president and even held a campaign rally in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. On the 1st of September, he took out a full-page advert in the New York Times, Washington Post, and Boston Globe headlined, "There's nothing wrong with Americans' foreign defense policy that a little backbone can't cure." So he talks crap about the United States all the time, and Russia loves it. Soon after he returned to the US, Trump began exploring... okay. The ad offered some highly unorthodox opinions in Ronald Reagan's Cold War America, accusing allied Japan of exploiting the US and expressing skepticism about US participation in NATO. The bizarre intervention was cause for astonishment and jubilation in Russia. A few days later, Schwetz, who had returned home by now, was at the headquarters of the KGB's first chief director in Yesenvo, where he received a cable celebrating the ad as a successful active measure executed by a new KGB asset. So Donald Trump did all the work for Russia. He loves Russia. So President Trump's campaign had at least 272 known contacts and at least 38 known meetings between Russia, or between him, his campaign, and the Russians. So Schwetz, who had carried out his own investigation, said, "For me, the Mueller report was a big disappointment because people expected that it would be a thorough investigation of all the ties between Trump and Moscow, when in fact, what we got was an investigation of just crime-related issues. There were no counterintelligence aspects of the relationship between Trump and Moscow." Right? The Mueller investigation was hamstrung from the beginning by Rod Rosenstein. So Trump is an asset. It wasn't a big plan that he was just, he just willingly helped Russia. He was the perfect target. As far as vanity, narcissism, and then he lost all his money. So yeah, Trump is a enemy of the United States. I closed it again, dude. Trump is the enemy of the United States. So let's look at the truth. The truth. The truth. Repeat the truth. Truth number one: Donald Trump did not win the 2020 election. He could not accept this outcome. Because of his inability to accept this outcome, he manufactured a big lie that he did win the election and put all of the official powers at his disposal to force this to be the case. Truth number two: As part of this effort, he attempted to shake down the Secretary of State of Georgia to manufacture extra votes that would make him win. Then, he conspired with officials at the Department of Justice to manufacture false cases of voter fraud in Georgia. So he tried to overturn the election in Georgia. Then, he rallied his supporters using the big lie to convene in Washington, D.C. to, quote, fight against Congress's Electoral College certification. When this became a violent insurrection at the Capitol, he refused to use his power to either verbally disavow that insurrection or use his official authority to permit the National Guard and other reinforcement mechanisms to protect the official and constitutional functions of a co-equal branch of government. In doing so, he violated his oath of office. Truth number 3. His words and actions, in addition to his failure to act, resulted in the death of 5, 6, 7 people, including law enforcement officials and the threat to the lives of members of Congress and his own vice president. Truth number 4. If he's had succeeded, it is unclear what state of functioning our democracy would be in at this moment. So it is without a doubt that Donald Trump tried to overthrow the country. It is without a doubt. He's still trying to do it, right? He's still trying. He's got his 45 senators, and he got Kevin McCarthy to go down to his bunker in Florida to pledge allegiance to the Confederate president, right? That's what he is. They pledged allegiance to the Confederate president. That's what Donald Trump represents right now. He's the Confederate president. Truth number 5. There are members of Congress who subscribe to the big lie and are effectively representing the interests of domestic terrorists who invaded our capital in our democratic processes. Reasonable people cannot disagree on the above truths. The question is how and whether. The question is how, whether, now, whether, and how Trump should be held accountable. Impeachment is one option through which he can be held accountable, and specifically whether he should be barred from holding office again. Yes. If senators hide behind procedural arguments for why Trump's actions cannot be adjudicated in an impeachment trial, on which the weight of experts agree is permitted, then they are avoiding, but not answering, the question of accountability. So all I've heard the Republican senators say is that it's unconstitutional to try a former president. That's all I've heard. None of them has said that, Donald Trump should... None of them has said, it's wrong to start an insurrection. None of them has said it's wrong to, or it's okay to start an insurrection. They don't defend Donald by saying it's okay for Donald to start an insurrection. They won't say it because that's what they believe, that it's okay for him to do an insurrection. But what they will say is that, we can't do this because it's unconstitutional. They don't give an F about the Constitution. They just don't want to say what they really mean. And what they really mean is that they're A-okay with insurrection, with overthrowing the government. They're A-okay with that. So the only question to ask these people is number 1, do you believe Trump should be held accountable for his actions? Yes or no? And 2, if not an impeachment, then how? Do they go on record as conceding that criminal prosecution is okay? Underlying both of these questions, of course, is the more fundamental question of, do you disavow Trump's big lie? Unless the Republicans are willing to go on the record by saying yes, I disavow Trump's big lie. Of course the election was fine. Of course it was fine. Trump's lying. Unless you do that, saying the insurrection was justified. Okay. If you cannot say that Trump is lying, then what you are saying is that the insurrection was justified, and Trump should never be held accountable, because to you, but that means you're saying you're a Confederate. So what Asha Rengappa is trying to do is give you the tools to pin down people, to pin them down, to make them choose. You must choose. Are you with the United States, or are you with the enemies of the United States? Make your choice. You must choose. That's what she has given you the tools to do. Pick this up. Pick these questions up. Do you believe Trump should be held accountable for his actions? If not an impeachment, then how? And ask them, do you disavow Trump's big lie? Like, do you disavow the insurrection? Do you think Trump should be held accountable? That would tell you what side you're on. So in other countries, they're passing COVID, right? In the UK, they've been paying people 80% of their salary since the beginning, right? In Denmark, they've been getting paid 75% of their salary to sit home. Hey, here's 75% of your salary, stay home. Don't go to work, stay home. The Netherlands, 90% of your salary to stay home. Canada, $2,000 a month to stay home. Australia, $1,000 a month to stay home. Meanwhile, in the richest country on earth, we got one-time payment maybe of $2,000, maybe if we get it. That's how messed up we are, right? Like, Proud Boys, fuck the Proud Boys. Fight for 15. Oh, hey, it's me. So Bernie Sanders, McDonald's worker in the US, $9 an hour. McDonald's worker in Denmark, $22 an hour, 6 weeks of annual vacation, a union, 1 year of paid family leave, life insurance, and pension. America must join the rest of the industrialized world and ensure that our working class can live with dignity. Is he joking? Is he joking? McDonald's worker in Nordic countries start at $18 an hour, and the cost of a Big Mac hasn't skyrocketed. So in the United States, it's $5.50 for a Big Mac. In Finland, it's $4. It's like the same price, but they get paid $18 an hour, and this person gets paid $9 an hour. And this person has benefits up the yang, and this person gets nothing. You see what I mean? So, oh yeah, here, my point. Like a firearm, government is a thing. You can tell who controls a government by seeing what the policies do, just like you can tell if a person is holding a gun is a good guy or a bad guy based on where the bullets go. Who controls government in USA versus who controls government in Denmark? In Denmark, they get paid really well because the government makes businesses pay that much. But here in the United States, governments don't have to pay hardly anything. I wonder why. Who controls government? The 2017 tax cut removed approximately $2.3 trillion in revenue over 10 years. Expert analysis predicted the cuts would not pay for themselves and were a redistribution of wealth to higher income Americans. The GOP passed the cuts by a 51-48 vote. The GOP now expects the Dems to compromise. Yeah, we got to fix this, right? How we can compromise is that we can get rid of that tax cut and institute new tax brackets above $150,000 and above $250,000, like 3 or 4 new tax brackets above that. And then we can also introduce a wealth tax, and then we can also introduce a transaction tax. That's a good compromise. That'll help balance, or that'll help plug the hole that was put there by the Republicans. That's the start of our compromise right there. We're gonna start there. And I don't think we're gonna get any Republicans to go on board, so I'm thinking we're gonna kill the filibuster. Okay, deal. In a pre-election video just uncovered by Mother Jones, Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene is seen endorsing political violence. Wow. So so she's encouraging Black Americans to murder her. That's awful. Don't do that. Stop it. Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. A maskless Marjorie Taylor Greene and her staff berated Cori Bush, Congresswoman Cori Bush, in a hallway. She targeted me and others on social media. I'm moving my office away from hers for my team's safety. I've called for the expulsion of members who incite this insurrection from day one. Yes, I'm with Cori Bush. Because as Joe Bucky says, Harvey Milk was killed by another councilman, not a random citizen. So yeah, you should get rid of the traitors out of Congress. For sure, you should get rid of them. They're anti-Americans. Get her out. She's a white supremacist. Get that Marjorie Greene Taylor woman out. She's terrible. She Okay. I can't do that right now. Let's see. She's crazy. In 2019, she believed that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was replaced by a body double. She's crazy. Like, why don't you put me in Congress? I can do better than her. Where do you live? Georgia? I'll go there and run because come on. Yeah, that's her saying that she doesn't believe it. Oh yeah, the game she's playing. Okay, to Marjorie Taylor Greene and her ilk, this is all the game, and the rules are simple. Step 1, create controversy, preferably by attacking the libs. Number 2, remain defiant in the face of controversy and double down. Step 3, make sure your base knows how much you're owning the libs, or the rhinos, or whomever you've chosen as your enemy. Step 4, ask your base for money. And then repeat. Go back to step 1. It's the whole game. It's fundraising. They're using outrage to do fundraising. That's what Donald Trump does. The game is really a political strategy called confrontational politics. The idea is that only a small percentage of voters can really be swayed one way or the other. But rather than woo voters with moderation, you excite them with us versus them scorched earth warfare, which is why you have to react in kind. They are going scorched earth, so we have to go scorched earth. Total warfare. We must crush their ability to engage in psychological warfare. Nobody expects the QAnon Inquisition. No one could have predicted that the party of Nazis, racists, compromised Russian assets, pedophile wrestling coaches, blackout drunk rapist judges, concentration camp fanboys, bonesaw murder apologists, and melting lawyers would also be the party of anti-Semitic conspiracy loons. Let's look in Russia. Look, Russia, dude. Look what they're doing in Russia. Right? So these guys that's a Belarus flag in Russia, and now they're getting arrested by the police. So there's no freedom in Russia. That's the government. That's a dictator of Russia. That's not the police property. They didn't break any laws. No, they didn't hurt anybody. But the police arrested them. Why? Because by holding that flag, the people of Russia are showing solidarity with the people of Belarus, who are fighting a coup. And the leader of Russia, or the legit president of Belarus, all these people are outside the prison. They're outside the prison where he's being held. So solidarity with the Russians, solidarity with Belarus. I hope you defeat Putin. Putin's a piece of crap. I really like the Americans to help. I would really like the Americans to help defeat Putin. I would really like it. SROs. Did you see this video? I don't want to show the video because it's violence against a little girl. It's violence against a little girl. She then appears unconscious. She is unconscious. When you watch the video, you'll see her arm is rigid and it's stuck forward, because that's the A reflex. When you get knocked out and you fall on the ground and you go like this, it's like a reflex. It's a reflex. You automatically do that. When you're knocked out, you do that. And that's what happened to this little girl. When she got tackled by this white supremacist cop and the cop slammed her head in the ground, she went unconscious and her arm went like this. And then the cop grabbed her arm and you could see him fighting the reflex to put her arm back behind her back. So she was knocked the F out by this cop, and she's a kid. I don't want to show the video because it's bad. It looks bad. And I had a head injury. I was in a coma for a week. Those are no jokes. That's no joke. This cop just did brain damage to a black kid. This white cop just did brain damage to a black kid for no reason. It was not threatened. No reason. Oh, God. So, hey, Joe Biden, that's a good start. Why don't you get rid of qualified immunity for these cops so they have to, suffer consequences for their actions? That's a hilarious thing. That's hilarious. I remember, white supremacists have a really funny way of talking. They have a really funny way of talking. They have a funny accent. Let me show you let me give you an example. I just noticed this funny accent that white supremacists have. Watch this. This is great. So, if I do something really wrong, like storm the Capitol, then I'll suffer consequences. But white supremacists have a funny accent. Listen to the accent of white supremacists. Ready? When I stormed the Capitol, I suffered cancel culture. Do you hear that? You hear the difference? You hear the difference? I stormed the Capitol. I suffered consequences. White supremacists. I stormed the Capitol. I suffered cancel culture. You hear it? You hear it? It's so funny the way white supremacists talk. They have a really funny accent. They just sound weird. All right. Any more here I can do? GameStop, conspiracy. The word pogrom. I learned this. I didn't know where it came from. 19th century, 20th century Russia. Pogroms, the rise of communism and Bolshevism, and the forgery of the Elders of Zion. Elders of Zion today, that's called QAnon. Yeah, they call it QAnon now. Beginning in the late 18th century, Jews in Tsarist Russia were largely forced to live in an area of Western Russia referred to as the Pale of Settlement. The Pale included 15 provinces in northwestern and southwestern Russia, including modern-day Belarus, Ukraine, and Lithuania. While Jews were legally able to settle throughout the Pale, residency outside its borders was typically illegal. The Pale remained in effect until the Russian Revolution in 1917. Russian anti-Semitism had historically relied on classic tropes rooted in Christianity. This included the blood libel, which sparked horrific violence that introduced the concept of the pogrom to the rest of the world. Pogrom is a Russian word that means to wreak havoc or violently destroy by way of an organized massacre, particularly of Jews. The earliest recorded pogrom took place in 1821 in Odessa, where Jews and Greeks lived together. Jews were under the Ottoman occupation, and Greeks were seeking independence. The Ottomans executed the Greek Patriarch of Constantinople, Gregory V, and sparked riots. In Odessa, Greeks accused Jews of aiding and celebrating Gregory's death. Accusations of the blood libel continued to surface in the ensuing years, and riots against Jews became more common. It was not until 1903, however, that the word pogrom would garner international attention and enter the global lexicon. I did not know that. Today I learned. Billionaires snap their fingers and the entire Fed is monitoring volatility in the market because the peasants started taking their money back. See how the state is merely the extension of capital? It exists only to manage, communicate, and deliver surplus onto the ruling class. If they start losing, they'll glitch the matrix to make sure they're still winning. People who stage, support, or incite violent attacks on the federal government, whether they're American citizens, members of Congress, or the president himself, should be held accountable, not only to restore order in the present, but to fend off similar attacks in the future. Uniting the nation requires no less. And with that, I will end my show for today. I killed the Wither. I got a beacon, and yeah, we will go from here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Yeah, and hopefully I will be here again next week. Okay, Pogo Kiddo out. Peace.